Lesson 122. Our new word for this lesson is the second declension noun scutum, which means shield. In the last lesson, we learned about the ablative of means, and so in these exercises, you'll be sure to see the ablative of means to give you some practice recognizing that. And a couple of good words to do things with are swords and shields. Remember, the word for sword is gladius, and the ablative singular would be gladio. The ablative plural would be gladiis. Keep in mind that our new word for this lesson, scutum, could be used in an ablative of means. The ablative singular would be scuto, and the ablative plural would be scutis. So keep your eyes peeled for those kinds of words, and when you see them, they just might be ablatives of means. Let's get some practice with the ablative of means by looking at our exercises. In number 1, habet is the verb, puer is the subject, and scutum is the direct object. There's no ablative of means in this sentence, so it will simply mean the boy has a shield. In number 2, servo is the verb, reginam is the direct object, and there are two ablatives of means, gladio and scutoque. So number 2 will say, I am guarding the queen with sword and shield. If you wanted to, you could say, I am guarding the queen by means of sword and shield, or you could even say, I am guarding the queen with a sword and with a shield. Any of those different translations would be grammatically correct. The goal here is to choose the one that sounds best and smoothest in English. In number 3, we have two clauses, one before the word quod and one after. In the first clause, habemus is the verb, and there are two direct objects, gladios and scuta. In the second clause, servamus is the verb, muros is the direct object, and opd is a genitive singular that's possessing muros. So number 3 will say, we have swords and shields because we are guarding the walls of the town. In number 4, possumus means we are able. It's being negated by non. Servare is an infinitive that means to guard. Patriam is the direct object. And then we have a big prepositional phrase, sine gladiis scutisque. So number 4 will say, without swords and shields, we are not able to guard the homeland. In number 5, the word sed divides the sentence into two smaller independent clauses. In the first clause, amo is the verb, and there are two direct objects, argentum and arumque. In the second clause, habeo is the verb, it's negated by non, and pecuniam is the direct object. So number 5 will say, I love silver and gold, but I do not have money. In number 6, eidificant is the verb, incoli is the subject, patriae is a genitive singular possessing incoli, and casas is the direct object. So number 6 will say, the inhabitants of the homeland are building houses. In number 7, navigo is the verb, ad insulam is a prepositional phrase, and scapha is an ablative of means. So number 7 will say, I am sailing to the island by boat. If you wanted to, you could say, I am sailing to the island by means of a boat or with a boat, and they would all be just as grammatically correct, but the goal is to find the translation that sounds best in English. In number 8, amant is the verb. It's being negated by non. Weary is the subject. Opd is a genitive singular possessing weary. Filium is the direct object, and reginae is a genitive singular possessing filium. So number 8 will say, the men of the town do not like the son of the queen, or the men of the town do not like the queen's son. In number 9, desideramus is the verb, videre is an infinitive that means to see, and patriam is the direct object. So number 9 will say, we are longing to see the homeland. In number 10, desiderant is the verb, weary is the subject, insularum is a genitive plural that's possessing weary, patriam is the direct object, and delere is an infinitive that means to destroy. So number 10 will say, the men of the islands want to destroy the homeland.